Just know that static friction, which will prevent the motion of an object along a surface, is going to be coefficient of friction multiplied by normal reaction. And what is your normal reaction here? mg. That is what we have here. So whenever you want to drag an object along a surface, there is always a frictional force that is going to prevent the object from moving. That frictional force is now what? Coefficient of friction multiplied by the normal reaction as shown. Now when you apply a force to push this object along this surface, what is going to happen? Frictional force will try to stop the object from moving. That is the limiting frictional force, which is also known as static frictional force. So if this object is not moving, it means that the force that you have applied is not sufficient enough, is less than the limiting frictional force. When this object starts moving, it means that the force that you applied is more than the limiting frictional force. At the point at which the object starts moving, it means the applied force is equivalent to the frictional force, limiting frictional force. Let me explain it properly. People pushing this object as shown, and this object is not moving. It means that the resultant force will be equal to 0 since this object is not moving. And it's not moving because the frictional force is greater than the applied force. It's now being pushed and is moving. It means that the applied force is now greater than the frictional force. So this object is going to move with a resultant force, which is ma, mass times acceleration. Don't forget, this object is going to move as a result of applied force being greater than the frictional force. So as it is moving, you have a mass moving. So the force, what is force? Mass times acceleration. The resultant force will be equivalent to the mass of this object multiplied by the acceleration of this object. It's going to move with a unit velocity. So we are going to have an acceleration. And what is now the resultant force? The resultant force will be equivalent to the mass of this object times the acceleration at which this object is moving, the acceleration of this object. There's another expression for this resultant force. Look at the arrow. Apply force pointing towards this direction, frictional force trying to push it back, and later on is moving along this direction. So it means that this resultant force will be equal to what? The applied force minus frictional force.